Hello everyone, I'm Fran Ledra. I am Chief Social Worker for Adults.
And I'm Mark Harvey, and I'm the other Chief Social Worker for Adults.
So we just wanted to welcome you to this 3-day of events, which are talking about all things about your assessed year in practice now that you're newly qualified social workers.
We're really disappointed to not be able to be with you in person at an event today, or even live on camera. But the world as we know it at the moment is calling on everyone's times and pressures. But also it means we get to do conversations in people's sheds and in Fran's living room. And one of the things that we were thinking about earlier is that Fran and I, despite sharing a job, have only actually been together once in the last 12 months in an office. And for us, that's incredibly difficult in us to do our job, but also just to maintain our working relationship and provide the support that we do to each other. For yourselves, as those that have gone through your university training or your ASYE year or are about to commence on it, these are significant pressures that will be there for you, and we really kind of wish you well and are here to support you either through our roles here or through the support of social workers to enable you to get through that and get the support you need and the space you need and the ability to just say this is getting a bit tough. You are learning social work in a world that Fran and I didn't have to learn it in, and you will be bringing things to it that will help us get out of this pandemic and ultimately make a real difference to the practice that we deliver.
We are acutely aware that this is going to probably be a different experience for you and that you'll be very dependent on your supervisors. And we've been really inspired by stories up and down the country on how our supervisors are supporting people on their assessed year in practice. So we also want to take this opportunity to say a big thank you to them as well. And you will be relying on them very heavily. They are the people that are going to help you get through this. And so feel free to kind of talk, like Mark said, about how it's feeling and how it's different. It's all part of what we do as social workers. It's very reflective. And just a reminder that whilst it's difficult for us, can you imagine how difficult it is for the people that need care and support at the moment, some who may not have even access to online facilities. So it's all part of your learning. It's all part of our way. We've got to be creative. We've got to make sure we're still out there and giving that care and support to people in the right place at the right time and in an extraordinarily different circumstance.
We're acutely aware as well that being an ASYE right now might need a different approach, a different support from us as Chief Social Workers, from your colleagues and from your employers. And the Chief Social Workers Office has been working quite closely with universities and Social Work England to look at how we can make this easier, make changes to parts of the processes so that you're supported to be the excellent social workers that you are bound to become and are already practicing in your local areas. One of the other things that I think is really important for us to think about is that I was saying to Fran the other day actually that probably social work is needed more now than it's ever been in recent years. And one of the things that we have as a profession is an ability to think wider than just the people we work with. That social work is a profession of communities, it's a profession of connecting people and making sure that we're able to enable, whether it's a village, whether it's a town or a city, or groups of people by their own definitions to be supported to get back to living the lives they want to live, regardless of whatever the presentations are for them or their disability or the issues that have struck them through COVID or prior to that. Social work is there to think that collective thought and to provide support, challenge and activism on occasion to be able to make that happen. And actually right now that's exactly what's going to be needed as we see hope going forward with vaccines, with things hopefully opening up for us over the next 6 months. Right here and now, social workers being there for people who may find that difficult is going to be so vital.
I mean, we do our bit. We try nationally to raise the profile of social work. We do it at the Department of Health and Social Care, but now it's your turn to do your bit. As our brand new generation of social workers, you are the people that are going to be taking this profession forward. So, really hold on to those things that you've learned in college. Go into this year with a really kind of open mind. It's going to be a bit different. It may, by the end of it, actually be a bit more back to normal. Who knows? Let's keep our fingers crossed. But you've really got to kind of embrace everything that you are learning. So read and study still and reflect. And gosh, you'll be reflecting so much, it'll be driving you mad. Mark and I talk about this all the time. We still reflect all the time, don't we, Mark? And sometimes you find you're reflecting when you've just put your petrol in your car, like I did the other day. Anyway, but outside of reflection, which I'm sure you've all learned a huge amount about, we are really absolutely delighted to be heading up a profession that we feel so proud of, and so proud of the people that come into it. So you're the future, you're the next generation of social workers, and we really wish you well on this journey in the next year.
Absolutely. In the next month, you will see the Chief Social Worker's annual report being published. This is Fran and I's second annual report, actually, since being in post, but it is going to be a report with a difference. 12 months ago, we set out a report that we were quite proud of, with some severe actions and challenges for us as a profession to make a difference. Unfortunately, COVID has significantly impacted our ability to bring about the actions that we set out in that report. So we will be bringing some of those actions forward to this year's report. And we have added additional actions that we want to collectively work with you as a profession to deliver for adults across the country. And one of the other things that we thought about as part of that report was, how do we make sure that you as local social workers are as engaged as much as possible with your principal social workers in your authorities and in your areas. And if you don't work in the local authority, that's not a problem. The principal social worker in the local authority is there for you as much as they are for the social workers in local authorities. That's what's so unique about that role. So do not be afraid to reach out to your PSWs, to respond to questions or asks or training or learning from your PSW, because that really will help you on your journey, but it will help us shape social work as we go forward. And we will be asking PSWs to set out their plan as to how they can deliver the national document that we will be releasing next month to enable you and social work to be what it can absolutely be on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, so look out for our annual report. It'll be published towards the end of this month. We've got a particular focus on safeguarding this year, and we've also got a particular focus on health inequalities. And we are acutely aware that a subject that is really live for most social workers at the moment is to kind of reclaim that anti-racist practice that we used to, that Mark and I, when we studied, was very much part of our education and our course. We did particular modules on anti-oppressive and anti-racist practice, and we're aware that that's kind of not in the same form. We know you've probably done some bits and pieces on that at your universities, but it might have been a varied kind of response. But with everything that's been going on in the world this year, we really want to kind of promote more work around this area.
Absolutely, and in line with that, on the 1st of April, we will be launching a new National Workforce Race Equality Standard for adult social care local authorities. We have 18 local authorities who will be leading that. If you're interested to find out more, come and have a look on our website at the Department of Health and Social Care and read about that. But it is really important that we do remember, as a profession, our core, what's right at the middle of what we do is around equality and inclusion, and tackling racism in its every shape and form in the organisations we work with, being very clear that we want them to be anti-racist, not just inclusive. They need to go beyond that. We are a profession that is one of the most diverse professions in this country. As a programme at universities, we are the most diverse of all university training packages, and that's something to absolutely be proud of. And it's really important that we will take that journey now, so that the ASYEs in a few years, when they get this video, get a video from a black chief social worker or a black principal social worker or someone from Asian heritage or background, so that we can really start to show that our profession is wide and diverse and reflects the communities that we really try to support.
So you've got hopefully a really great year ahead. We would always urge you to just keep, as I said at the beginning, really keep up to date with your reading, as well as you being very focused on your local, what's going on for you locally in your teams in your local areas. Also find time also to look at what's going on nationally. We issue a number of blogs throughout the year and a number of articles, and I think it's really important to stay in touch with what's going on nationally as well as locally. So it just leaves us to say, congratulations again. You've come into absolutely one of the best professions, and we really, really wish you well on your journey in the coming year.
Absolutely. Thank you for listening. Good luck, and absolutely what Fran said, we wish you so much well. Enjoy World Social Work Week and World Social Work Day next week. And good luck, and thank you.
Bye.
Cheerio.